Quick, you have just a couple of months to register for this Hyatt promotion and get your flights booked so you can take advantage of it. If you want to travel to Latin America or the Caribbean in style before October and earn a lot of extra points while doing it, this video is for you. My name is Julia and I am the founder of GeoBreeze Travel. I personally got about $100,000 worth of travel last year for approximately 90% off by using points and miles, and we typically save our clients more than $30,000 of travel in the first 6 months of working with our team. We want to provide you with a clear path to luxury travel with these step-by-step tutorials too. Viewer-suggested topics for these types of tutorial videos are always welcome, so please let us know in the comments if there is a topic that you would like covered. But for today, let's jump right in with the terms of this Hyatt promotion and how you can take advantage of it.
So currently Hyatt has this fantastic promotion where if you are visiting Latin America and the Caribbean anytime between July 15 and October 14, you get an extra 5,000 points for every 3 nights that you stay. So in today's tutorials, we're going to go over where those Hyatt hotels tend to be and the best way that you can book flights to there using points. The way to figure out where all of the different Hyatt hotels are is if you just Google Hyatt Explore Hotels, you should be taken to this page with Find Your Hyatt. And then you can filter down the region to Caribbean and Latin America and just say that you're looking for all hotel categories. This will show you a list of all of the different Hyatt hotels within different countries in the Caribbean or Latin America, including Argentina, Mexico, Barbados, Bolivia, all of these different countries. And so you have a lot of hotels to choose from in order to take advantage of this promotion. If you want to base where you go off of what flight deals are available, here's how I would search for flights. So I would go to seats.aero and then click on this search tab. And then from here, I would say origin airport is USA, or if you want to type in your airport specifically, or if you want to type in EST for East Coast, WST for West Coast, MIW for Midwest, you have a few different options there. And then for destination airports, we're going to look at SAM, which is South America, MXC, which is Mexico, and CAR, which is the Caribbean. Since this promotion takes place between July and October, I'm going to search for mid-August plus or minus 28 days. So this will take us from mid-July into mid-September. And alternatively, you could say something like September 1st, where it'll take you from August 1st through the end of September. Go ahead and click search, and you should be able to do all of that with just the free version, since the advanced filters you don't really need with minimum seats or anything else like that. You can also say what transfer partners you like, but we're just going to reset it and have it show us all different transfer partners. Now, many of the flights between the US and Latin America are very short flights, especially if you're going somewhere like Mexico or the Caribbean. And there's not always some great aspirational business class flights for those short flights. Therefore, most of the time it can make sense to just fly economy. And if we click on this down arrow next to the word economy, we can see that you could fly between Dallas and Monterrey, Mexico for as low as 45,000 points with Alaska. Same with Miami and Cancun, and a few other airport combinations. If you're like, well, I don't have Alaska points, I don't have Bilt points, then you can filter it to just the type of points that you have. So if you have Chase points, you could use JetBlue, transfer your Chase points over to JetBlue and fly between JFK and Cancun for 5,300 points, Newark and Santo Domingo, Newark and Cancun, Boston and Cancun. So there's a lot of cheap flights that you can get with JetBlue this way. Or let's say that you wanted to do Capital One points. You could fly between Miami and Havana. That's only 7,500 points. If you're mostly working with American Express points, that transfers to JetBlue as well, though not at as good of a rate as Chase. And then you could also use Aeroplan, where you're flying between Houston and Monterrey. So lots of different good economy flights that you could do here. You could fly between LAX and Cabo. But in today's tutorials, we are going to go over some of the more aspirational flights that you can take in Latin America, where you would end up at one of these Hyatt hotels, and you can maximize this promotion to earn 5,000 bonus points for every 3 qualifying nights. So let's jump into some of the more slightly advanced tutorials for how to fly aspirational business class seats in Latin America.
If you love free resources that let you maximize your points, check out geobreezetravel.com/quiz. There, you will find a free short quiz that will point you to the best resources depending on whether you are trying to earn more points, redeem points, or something else. And by taking the free quiz, you will also get access to the free Points 101 course, which is a fantastic resource for anybody who is just getting started with points and miles. Okay, time to get into some of the fancy stuff. Let's say that you don't really want to fly economy, but you would instead like to fly in a lay-flat business class seat down to Latin America, since some of those flights can get pretty long. Well, that's what the rest of this video covers. So let's start with how to find a great flight with JetBlue Mint.
So the first example we're going to go over is how you can fly in JetBlue Mint over to St. Lucia. Over on seats.aero, I would click on Explore and then click JetBlue. And you'll be able to fly JetBlue Mint into this area, which is fantastic. So I would show flights from North America to North America, and if you want to get the Pro version, then you can search for the full year. Under search, I would type in UVF, and this is going to get you the airport code for St. Lucia. Click on the down arrow next to business, and you can see that you have some options to fly in business class with JetBlue Mint from JFK over to UVF. And a lot of these will oftentimes have a lot of availability as well. So what you can do here is pick one of these dates. Let's say August 24, and see if we can find this on JetBlue. So here on JetBlue, we'll just search for the route we found, which is JFK over to UVF, St. Lucia, for the date that we saw on seats.aero, which is August 24. These are all prices that you'll see with economy, but we actually have to click through in order to find the business class flights. And so here we can see that you could fly this in economy for 15.8 thousand points, or lie flat mint seats for 43.5 thousand points. And that's just about at the threshold that I would be willing to pay for business class, because let's say this is a 5-hour flight, I would be willing to pay up to 50,000 points for 5 hours in business class. So this is not too bad of a deal. You have some other routes as well that you could fly to. For example, you could fly between Boston and St. Thomas, which is in the Caribbean as well, or you could fly between New York and San Juan, Puerto Rico. However, even though those do operate Mint flights, there weren't really any great options for hotels that I could see that were participating with this Hyatt promotion. So if you just wanted to go with the flight but not the hotel promotion, those would be some options as well. But as far as JetBlue Mint, I think your best option if you wanted to get both the hotel promo and a good JetBlue Mint experience, I would look into flying to St. Lucia.
Are you enjoying these types of tutorial videos? If yes, please let me know. Click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for even more points and miles tips every week. Up next is how you can use your points to travel all the way down to Brazil in United Polaris. Here's the play.
Our next example is going to be how you can fly into Brazil and stay somewhere like the Grand Hyatt Sao Paulo to take advantage of the Hyatt promotion. And you are going to be doing this with United Polaris. So under seats.aero, I would click on Explore and then United Mileage Plus. Also, since this promotion with Hyatt takes place in either July, August, September, or October, you don't really need the Pro version for this. You can just experiment with the free version that gives you up to 60 days of search. So here we're going to say we want to show flights from North America down to South America. And in the search bar, I would type GRU, which is the airport code for Sao Paulo, which is the biggest hub in Brazil. Under business class, we are going to click the down arrow to see what flights are available within the next 60 days. And it looks like there is quite a bit from Chicago over to Sao Paulo. So let's use that as our example. And here we'll just pick one of these dates like August 21st and see if we can find this on united.com. So next we'll go over to united.com, click one way, book with miles. Let's go ahead and say we have flexible dates from Chicago to Sao Paulo in August for one adult in business class. Once your screen looks like this, you're going to go ahead and click Find Flights. And so here on the flexible award calendar, you can see which dates have the cheapest points prices. We've got the 14th, the 20th, or the 21st. So let's go ahead and pick the 20th. And here we do see that it is United Polaris Business for 80,000 points, and it is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. And if you wanted to see what the seats look like, you're looking for something like this where it's kind of like the angle-y seats, and you're not looking for something that's more like this, where it's the straight seats, because these are just the glorified recliner chairs. Even the IAD to GRU route. This one is going to be Polaris, so this one's going to be a little bit nicer. This one you're going to have even more room. It is much more expensive, but this route from IAD down to Sao Paulo, you have even more room in Polaris. This one is in business class as well, and you can tell it's a little bit with a lay flat because of the angled seats. But what you want to avoid when you click on seats is anything that looks like this, where it's just going to be the square seats, because that just means it's not lay flat, it's just one of those big armchair type seats. That is how you would find some United Polaris flights all the way down to Sao Paulo. I would recommend checking Chicago or Houston or Washington, D.C. That's where you're going to have the most luck with finding this particular route over to Brazil so that you can take advantage of this Hyatt promo.
If you're in the market for a new card so that you can earn points to fly in style like this, but you're not sure what card to get, check out our free credit card consultation form at geobreezetravel.com/consultations. We'll send you a personalized recommendation based on your particular goals, budget, and lifestyle. Or, if you do already know what card you would like to get and you would like to support this show when you apply for your next card, check out geobreezetravel.com/cards. This is where we post our affiliate links as well as referral links from the GeoBreeze Travel community to help you earn even more referral points. And those points that you earn with referral bonuses can also help with booking some fancy first-class flights down to South America like this.
Up next is an example for how to find really good aspirational flights over to Colombia so that you can take advantage of this Hyatt promotion and stay somewhere like the Grand Hyatt Bogota. So once again, with Seats.Aero, I would just use the free version of this where you can search up to 60 days out in the future, since that aligns pretty well with the timeline of this Hyatt promotion. I would click on Explore and then Emirates Skywards. From here, click Show Flights from North America over to South America, and then you can see there's tons of availability between Miami and Bogota, Colombia. You can fly in business class for about 52.5 thousand miles, and it's a direct flight. But since this flight is only about 4 hours long, I don't really think I would pay more than 40,000 points for this. But I would pay 60,000 points in order to fly Emirates first class, even for just a short hop, just to get all of the fun swag and everything that they give out on the flight. We had a question a couple weeks ago about, is it worth it if it's just a short flight, given the 10K rule, where for every hour in business class, I would be willing to pay up to 10,000 points. For this business class flight, probably not. Would I be willing to pay 15,000 points per hour in Emirates first class? I personally would, but it's up to you. If you're like, that's way too bougie, it's too short of a flight, you can actually fly this in economy for only 10,000 points, which is a really good rate, because for 4 hours, I would be willing to pay up to 20,000 points in economy. And like I said, there's tons of availability even with first class. So here's how you would find these seats booking through Emirates.com. So what you would do is just go to Emirates.com, checkbox Classic Rewards, and then you're going to search from Miami over to Bogota. Pick any of the dates that you see here where there's first class availability, like let's say it's July 24th, and I would recommend saying that your dates are flexible as well. Say that you're looking for up to 2 passengers in first class, and then go ahead and click Search Flights. And so this particular date that I picked wasn't actually available with 2 seats, but the day before is. So if I click on July 23rd, you can fly 2 people in first class from Miami over to Colombia for 120,000 points plus $211, and everything will transfer to Emirates. Chase, Amex, Capital One, Citi, Bilt, all of them will transfer over. So you can fly this flight for only 60,000 points per person in Emirates first class, and then stay somewhere like the Grand Hyatt in Bogota to take advantage of this Hyatt promo.
We have one set of tutorials left, and it covers what is undoubtedly the best program for finding business class deals to South America. And if you are interested in leveling up your points game even more, we have a couple of options for you. The first one is the GeoBreeze Travel Patreon, which you can join starting at just $5 per month through patreon.com/geobreezetravel. Each month, we prepare personalized step-by-step tutorials for the routes that our members request. We also provide open forum group coaching where you can ask any questions that you have about earning more points, maximizing points you already have, or credit cards in general. And we talk through some of the tricks that I don't really mention on social media. And if you are looking to get even more free travel with points, and you are a business owner or individual who spends more than $100,000 per year on expenses, check out our one-on-one points portfolio management service. We typically save our clients somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000 in travel in the first 6 to 12 months of working with our team. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, book a free introductory chat with us at geobreezetravel.com/intro call to learn more. Okay, let's walk through one last set of tutorials for how to find great business class flights to Latin America so that you can take advantage of this Hyatt promotion. And that is by finding flights with Alaska Airlines.
And our last example is going to go over how you can get to so many different places in Latin America and the Caribbean, including Argentina, Chile, Grand Cayman, Belize, Costa Rica, Punta Cana, Lima, more Sao Paulo flights, and more Bogota flights for cheaper than what we showed with United and Emirates. And that airline is going to be Alaska. So once again, under seats.aero, click on Explore, click on Alaska, and I would just use the free version where you're searching 60 days out. Search from North America over to South America, and they have so many different flight options that I would sort by business class lowest and then just type in whichever airport you want to try to fly to. So if you wanted to go to Bogota, they have flights from Miami. It's only 25,000 points with this American Airlines business class flight. Not nearly as luxurious as the Emirates flight, but much, much cheaper. So you could fly something like that. You could fly down to Sao Paulo, Brazil from Miami or JFK. That's going to be about 50,000 Alaska miles. You could fly over to Lima for only 35,000 points from Miami. You could fly to Punta Cana from even somewhere like Charlotte down to Punta Cana, only 15,000 points in business class or 7,500 in economy since it's such a short flight. You could go over to Liberia, Costa Rica for only about 15,000 points per person one way in business class from Miami. And if you were to go over to Liberia in Costa Rica, that's where you could stay somewhere like the Andaz Costa Rica resort at Papagayo, which I hear fantastic things about. There's more. You could also go into Belize for only 15,000 points from places like Miami, Dallas, or Charlotte. You could go to the Grand Cayman. Since it's such a short flight, this is only 4,500 points per person in economy or 9,000 in business class. If you wanted to go all the way down to Chile, you're going to have to work around these Mexico flights, so you could fly from JFK. It looks like it's going to be the best option in the United States for 50,000 points. And if you're going down to Chile, they have some pretty good options too. Way more options than I was expecting to see in Chile. You could stay somewhere like Hyatt Centric in Santiago or the Hyatt Place Santiago or all of these other places that you can check out as well in Chile, which is notoriously difficult to get to, but with Alaska, they make it pretty easy because you can fly down there for only 50,000 points. It's operated by LATAM, not the most luxurious of flight experiences, but it's got a lay flat seat. So that's really what most people care about. Since this is a pretty long flight, it's about 10 and a half hours. So 50,000 points for 10 and a half hours is not bad at all. Or if you wanted to fly into Argentina so that you could stay somewhere like the Park Hyatt in Buenos Aires at the Palacio de Joao, or even go into wine country and stay in the Park Hyatt Mendoza, there are flights down to Argentina with Alaska Airlines as well. And here you could fly from Miami or JFK for about 50,000 points. And once again, this is a lot of flight time where it's about 11 hours. You're flying in American Airlines business class, and it's only 50,000 points. So when you find the airport that you want to fly to, you find some dates and some routes that you like using the free version of seats.aero, What I would do next is make sure that the flight exists on Alaska. So then you just go to alaskaair.com, click one way, use miles, and then we're going to search from JFK over to Argentina. And it looks like there was some availability for August 16 here, so we're going to use that option. Seats.aero also says that there are 2 seats available, but I'm just going to search for one for now and then click Find Flights. And here we do see the refundable partner business class flight for 50,000 points and $19. This one says there's actually only 1 seat left, and this is operated by American Airlines. This one does not show the actual plane model, so if you wanted to see what the seats look like here, I would just search this on Google Flights. You're going to need to enter in the same flight info from JFK to EZE on August 16. And then we can filter airlines down to American Airlines. And for this flight, we do see that it is a lay flat seat. And this isn't too bad of a redemption. If it's $1,900 per person one way versus 50,000 points, then you are looking at about a 3.8 cent per point redemption, which is not too bad. So for all of the different ways to fly down to Latin America, Alaska is definitely the most robust, and then you can find some ways to take advantage of this Hyatt promotion from there. Keep in mind that to transfer points over to Alaska, you are going to need either the Alaska co-branded credit card or the Bilt card, since Chase and Amex and all of those don't transfer to Alaska. But in the past, Bilt has had transfer bonuses up to 100% to Alaska, which has been fantastic, and I know a lot of people were able to get some really good redemptions off of that.
I hope you found those tutorials useful. Also, please let me know what other types of tutorials that you would like to see. Suggestions for future topics are always welcome, so please let us know in the comments what you would like to see in future videos. In the meantime, if you enjoyed these tutorials, I think you'll enjoy this video next.